What is up everyone, my name's Al from GamesRip, and today we're taking a look at a mod for Wolfenstein 3D from 2002, that's right, now on the Sega Saturn. So this one was posted on the Sega Extreme forums. I'll drop a link to that exact page, so if you are a member or you're not at the moment, you can sign up, take a look, have a go yourself. It's an interesting Wolfenstein mod to the point where it's literally like, what the hell is going on? You essentially play a burger. That's right, that's probably why it's called Burgerstein, Wolfenstein, Burgerstein. And you take on things like hot dogs and things like that. There's only 7 levels, a quick 7 levels. You can literally, you can complete the whole game in around 11 to 12 minutes. It's an interesting one, and it's on the Sega Saturn. Let's take a look. That's right, so yes, we are indeed playing Burgerstein 3D, a mod that came out in 2002 now working on the Sega Saturn. You're probably going to say to yourself, what in the God's green hell is Burgerstein? Well, Burgerstein, you literally play a burger, get psychotic, and take on hot dogs, other burgers, and even a drink. The drink is actually a final boss in this game. So, straight off the bat, I gotta say, the art style is not exactly fantastic, right? But, you know, ultimately, it's just a 2002 mod. It's nice to see it actually working on the Sega Saturn, and you cannot deny, really works really well. You just use the D button, as well as literally all you do is you can also press A and B. They act as your open door buttons and your fire buttons, and then you've also got the strafing as well. So this, you know, the controls are real simple, but for me it's the art style. I mean, what on earth were they thinking when they created this game? Now, to me, it seems like you actually have to do pick up keys. Although, when I actually picked up the keys, I'm not sure it really felt like I was really picking up anything, because they didn't really distinguish themselves as keys, if that makes sense. I just eventually found the exit button, or exit door, I should say, and then I was through, and then it was on to the next level. So, a very strange layout. And yes, as always, it literally just goes into the standard Wolfenstein screen, so there was no kind of modifications there to kind of make it feel different. It feels like a real basic mod. It's not one that it feels like really anything by the look of it is different. Mechanics are all the same, but then that's ultimately what a mod is. But it really is just a massacre of food. Now, I'm not even really distinguishing what the guns are. Is that looks like a checkout gun almost, right? I really can't tell. But yes, it's actually a really easy game. There's ammos galore. You do also find treasure rooms. That's right, treasure rooms with ice cream. How cool is that? Now, don't get me wrong, the fact that this is on the Saturn really does make this cool, right? But the thing I find a little bit frustrating is the fact that all the scenery kind of looks the same. Apart from the kind of initial rooms, it feels like there's a bit of effort there. But then when it kind of goes a bit deeper, it feels like you're just running round in a maze. It feels like every room is exactly the same. So much so, the only way you're going to know that you've been there a lot of the times is because there's corpses of hot dogs. That really is the only way it feels like you know where you've been, because everything's pink, you know, and that literally is it. It really is. Yeah, unfortunately, that kind of bland, and I hate to say it, because ultimately I couldn't make a mod myself, so I've got to applaud the person for doing this, but, you know, it's just strange to see a mod where you really just don't know where you're going. I mean, but then when you think about it, the essence of Wolfenstein really it was kind of a maze, right? But it did just feel like there was something just distinguishing about each room that just made it feel like a different one, if that makes sense. The other thing is kind of the lack of sound here. Yeah, there's sound effects, that's great, but there's no music. You kind of want that music, right? Let's chuck some music in. And you can't deny, just with throwing in some of the original game soundtrack, it feels almost that much better, right? A game like this needs to have a background soundtrack, so when it doesn't have it, it just feels a little bit strange. Now, the other thing with this is, it doesn't really feel like any of the weapons are all that different. Yes, one of them essentially has rapid fire, this other brown gun, but apart from that, again, no huge distinguishing things that really makes me feel like each gun is all that different. Don't get me wrong, I'm not picking this game apart. I actually think it's a great little game, because you can literally complete it in about 10 minutes, and it is different. I will give it that. It's certainly individual looking. Now for me, the real fun from this really does come from, like I said, its individuality. It's a good little game, hop it in, complete it, go about your day. If you just want to blast a few hot dogs or burgers with a gun I can't even really distinguish, then you absolutely should give this a go. You should give this a go anyway. It's just a cool little mod. Don't get me wrong, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of Wolfenstein mods out there, and just the fact this is on the Sega Saturn makes it that much cooler. Don't get me wrong, we'll get around to taking a look at Wolfenstein, the original 3D game on the Sega Saturn. That's right, I nearly said Dreamcast, nearly say it all the time, but this is the boss screen. Yes, you can tell you're clearly about to go to a boss, tons of lard, tons of everything else, and there he is. It's a cup. You literally just pound him for a while, and then he dies. Anyway, I hope you like this nice little look at Burgerstein for the Sega Saturn. Like, comment and subscribe. It's Al signing out.